Tides of Deception, Secrets of the Shipwreck, a novel by Stories, by Anna Originals, Chapter 2. The Box That Should Never Have Been Found. For several long seconds, no one moved. The only sounds were the crackling of the dying fire and the waves rolling gently onto the shore, as if the ocean itself was waiting to see what would happen next. The small metal box rested on Lily's lap. Its lid had slowly fallen open by itself. Inside lay a bundle of yellowed letters tied together with faded red thread. Resting on top of them was a black and white photograph, its edges worn with age, but remarkably well preserved. Lily reached for the photograph with trembling fingers. Her breath caught. It was her father. There was no doubt. Marcus Carter stood on the deck of a ship, smiling at the camera as if nothing in the world could touch him. But that wasn't what made Lily's heart race. Standing beside him was another man. Ethan leaned closer. "Oh, my God." "You know him," Lily whispered. Ethan nodded slowly. "I've seen him before." "Who is he?" "My grandfather." Lily looked back at the photograph. Marcus Carter and Thomas Blake stood shoulder to shoulder. Between them rested a weathered wooden chest, covered with strange carvings. Both men were smiling. Neither looked frightened. Neither looked like they expected to disappear. Someone had written across the bottom of the photograph in blue ink, "If you're reading this, we failed." Lily's hands began to shake. Sheriff Morris stepped closer. "Let me see." She handed him the picture without taking her eyes off the letters. Nora stared over his shoulder. "Marcus never showed me this." "He probably didn't want anyone else to know," Ethan replied quietly. The sheriff turned the photograph over. His expression changed instantly. "There's something written on the back." Everyone gathered closer. The handwriting was unmistakable. Marcus Carter's. It read, "Trust Samuel. The lighthouse isn't what it appears to be. Don't let them reach the captain's journal first." Silence swept over the group. Lily looked toward the old lighthouse, standing proudly on the cliffs above the harbor. She had passed it hundreds of times as a little girl. Nothing about it had ever seemed unusual. Until now. Samuel Dawson, who had remained a few steps away since the fire began, lowered his head. Lily turned toward him. "You knew my father left this message." Samuel didn't answer. "You knew." The old fisherman closed his eyes for a moment. Then he slowly nodded. "I prayed this day would never come." "Why?" "Because once that ship came back," he said quietly, "I knew the people hunting it would come back too." A cold breeze swept across the beach. For the first time all day, Lily wasn't looking at the ship. She was looking at the people around her. Every face suddenly seemed different. Every stranger became a possible threat. Every answer raised two more questions. Who were they? Why had Marcus trusted Samuel? And what was hidden inside the lighthouse? Before anyone could speak again, a deputy came running across the sand. "Sheriff!" Morris turned. "We've got another problem." "What now?" "The divers." "What about them?" "They just reported finding another wreck." Everyone froze. Sheriff Morris frowned. "What do you mean, another wreck?" The deputy swallowed hard. "About 300 yards offshore." He pointed toward the water. The sonar picked up a second ship. Lily and Ethan looked at each other. Neither had expected that. The Maribel wasn't alone. Something else had been hiding beneath the waves all these years. The deputy's boots sank into the wet sand as he hurried toward Sheriff Morris. "Sir." He stopped to catch his breath. "The fire is finally under control." Sheriff Morris nodded. "Good. But the firefighters found something." Lily instinctively tightened her grip on the metal box. "What is it?" she asked. The deputy glanced around at the crowd before lowering his voice. The captain's cabin. Everyone fell silent. Sheriff Morris frowned. I thought it burned. So did we. It didn't? No, sir. The fire burned around it. Lily looked at Ethan. Neither of them spoke. The deputy continued. It's almost like the flames refused to touch that section of the ship. Samuel Dawson quietly whispered, I was afraid of that. Lily turned toward him. What does that mean? Samuel stared out at the ocean. Some things wait. For what? For the right person. Lily's patience finally broke. No more riddles. Her voice was louder than she intended. My father disappeared because of this ship. She held up the photograph. My father left me messages. She pointed toward the burning wreck. Someone just tried to destroy evidence. Then she looked directly into Samuel's eyes. So please, tell me the truth. The old fisherman closed his eyes. For several moments, no one interrupted him. Finally, he spoke. When your father first came here, he wasn't looking for treasure. Lily listened carefully. He came looking for names. Names? Samuel nodded. He believed powerful people had erased an entire chapter of history. What history? The kind people kill to protect. The wind picked up again. Samuel looked toward the lighthouse standing above the cliffs. He asked me one question. What was it? If someone wanted to hide something forever. Samuel swallowed. Where would they hide it? Lily whispered. And what did you tell him? Samuel smiled sadly. I told him. Hide it where everyone can see it. Lily looked toward the lighthouse. The sheriff followed her eyes. You think it's there? Samuel slowly nodded. I think your father found it. Ethan stepped closer. And if Marcus Carter found it? Samuel looked directly at him. Then someone made sure he never told the world. Silence settled over the beach once more. The crowd behind the police tape continued taking photographs, completely unaware of the conversation unfolding just a few yards away. Lily looked back at the box. We should open the letters. Sheriff Morris nodded. Not here. Why? He scanned the crowd. Because whoever started that fire is probably standing here watching us. Almost instinctively, Lily looked toward the cliffs. Hundreds of people filled the overlook. Families, reporters, police officers, tourists. Anyone could be watching. Then Ethan quietly said, He's already here. What? I saw him earlier. The man in the black coat. Lily felt chills race down her arms. You saw him too? Ethan nodded. He wasn't watching the fire. He was watching us. Sheriff Morris's expression hardened. You recognize him? No. But he recognized the box. Lily looked down. How do you know? Because when you picked it up, he stopped trying to burn the ship. The realization hit them all at once. The fire had never been about destroying the wreck. It had been about destroying that box, and they had taken it before the flames could. For the first time since arriving in Seaview, Lily realized something terrifying. She wasn't searching for the mystery anymore. The mystery had found her. End of part 2 of chapter 2.